Let's see here. What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic live stream just after the market close of 9/23 of 2021. And what a day it was for a handful of stocks. Just to do a quick little recap, we are up nearly 1.3% in the S&P 500, nearly a percent or 150 points within the NASDAQ. That's quite impressive. Really finding that 55 EMA here, which is that little white dots here we can see here, that really kind of came into support here, and seeing it kind of honestly trampoline pretty hard off of that and kind of bouncing it high, and never really seeing the 8 EMA cross through the 34 EMA. Just remember, anything can happen in the market, and just get ready for any kind of volatility or so forth. Like this is honestly considered the easy move right here, this little bounce here. The real kind of what's going to be coming in is something that we could need to be a little bit more careful about. Like, again, this is going to we're going to start seeing people kind of pile into the stock here in the market, because again, like, oh, it's all clear. Like, this could be a bull trap, right? Like, we're coming into that 50 percentile move from the swing high to swing low here. So let me just pull this up actually on the QQQs. Some of the numbers are a little bit smaller, so you can see it just slightly better here. So we do a fib from the swing high, swing low. We basically nearly tapped the $374 level, which is, again, that time to look for a potential bull trap. So this could be a case of two different things. We could see it kind of pop up, maybe kind of grind through it, but we are seeing a significant amount of volume kind of coming in to kind of help push that narrative higher here. But you got to remember, anything can happen in the market, and you have to be ready for any kind of volatility coming your way. Because again, this little bounce move, this is the easy stuff right now. The more choppy stuff is going to be coming in once we try to break 375 to 380. That's going to take a little bit more time, and especially when we start making our way up to 380 again. That's going to be maybe can create a little bit of a wall of worry, but that's going to be the time to see if we can get that momentum to kind of push through in those ranges there. Shane says, "What's up, my friend?" Aaron also asking for check out snow. I know I'm sadly did not hold on to this son of a gun. I posted this basically. Let me open up Epic Pen. This kind of mentality, we were looking, and I had positions at basically like that 240, 245 range, and it really did pop out pretty high here. Let me get this over here. We're gonna go with let's go with yellow today. We're buying in this range here, kind of that back and forth pattern we like to see. Again, looking here on the daily chart and seeing this kind of pattern kind of build up with that nice squeeze. Then we had a huge explosion of volume kind of come through, but it came right back down to the moving averages to show that support here and continue to hug this little pattern here, and it just kind of took a rocket ship here. Sadly, I got a little impatient. I was selling a little bit up here, and I sold the remainder up here, even though I could have let it run and let my winner ride there a little bit. I just didn't have the hesitation to do so, because again, at the same time, this is when I was thinking the market was very saturated and just a little bit overbought. But sadly, I missed another, 20 points, 25 points in the market, and it's still looking fairly strong here, honestly, my friend. Coming down to a couple levels here. You can see that 34 EMA and 55 EMA has been supported a couple times here. Again, with that quarter behind it, and a huge volume coming on that dip there. This thing potentially looking for that target around 335 to 340 that could be met within those targets, that being said there. Do you see any downside in snow? Yeah, there's always downside. Like, I don't see it. Like, there is some that the support level is going to be coming into that 34 EMA, which is around like 300 to 305 would be an initial level of support here. But then that 55 has come into some level of support there as well. And we do have a fib number here again around 280 as well. So those are going to be your first tier support's going to be around 305 to 300, and then further down to a little bit more wider range around 280 potentially. But again, anything can happen in the market. Will you be going over F cell? Yeah, we can go over F cell. This thing is trying to pop here. It really is. This was a, let me kind of zoom in here a little bit on this downward momentum that we're seeing here. The best way to kind of look at this is if we just draw this like a, well, this would have been more like this kind of more downward movement here, and now we're seeing it potentially trying to break out here. So we would call basically the floor support around, let's say $6.35. That's going to be your level of support there. And looking for, again, huge squeeze, crazy amount of volume on the movement here on the earnings. Initially coming up to some resistance around $7.50 some odd cents. That's going to be what we're looking for on some potential targets to be met in that range there. But that being said, we can even see some targets around $8. That falling 144 EMA is something that we could also be looking at to kind of see if we do see any kind of pattern coming through there. Oops, I clicked on the wrong window here. Yeah, so that's what that one. But again, that this is something that has really gone in the past. I forget what this company was all about, but so it does have that crazy propulsion moves in its DNA, so we could easily see it kind of push higher here. That being said, the last couple times it has pushed, it has been getting smaller and smaller waves, so potentially looking for smaller waves here. So not being too aggressive here, potentially seeing it maybe touch 750 for the first target. Dave, what's up, my friend? EDT has been going for quiet ride. Let's see. I know you love those pharmaceutical stocks. Yeah, this one, this is like a gene editing one or something like that, right? Potentially could see a turnaround play coming in here. Looking for this. So we have some levels resistance here around $63.48, and more importantly, especially around 72. The chart is trying to curl back up, so we could maybe call this a short-term base here around $60 or $59 there, but looking forward to break above 63 and maybe make a run to 72. The only thing is that I'm kind of missing here on this setup here is there's not much volume. It's fairly quiet. Even though it had a downward move, there wasn't much selling per se, but looking for this to kind of break out and hold that level there around $60 and maybe see it kick higher, break above 65, 63, and maybe make its way back up to 72. But really what I need to see is a very large volume day on the buy side to really see this one push higher here, because it does have some initial support to the downside around $57 to $55 there. R2D2, what up, my friend? Hey, Ken, been a while. I like Piton. Let me know what you think. I'm holding the 94, 95 level. Piton. So Piton, yeah, we talked about this one. It is this still kind of considered like a, what's it called? Stay at home kind of play scenario? Because again, we've drawn these boxes before on the chart here, kind of create like more of like a head and shoulders, and we can call this like the neckline. It has clearly, that almost looks like something else, but that could be like that neckline here, basically around 106. We're kind of breaking past that. So looking at this on a technical basis via the fibs from the swing high to swing low, we've kind of broken past that 101 range. So looking for this to fall even further. Let me zoom out to like a weekly chart. Yeah, this could be charty here. So hitting its 15th percentile move right here. So the next really large fib number is going to be coming around $76, but that's going to be on the weekly 3-year chart. So I'm not sure exactly what time frame you're looking at. As of right now, this pattern doesn't look very strong. We're not seeing any kind of significant like green bars kind of coming in to kind of show some level of support or some kind of a bottom that we could see in the chart. Initially speaking, this could be level of support here. We could get a pretty dramatic swing here, but maybe a double bottom with a 1-2 here, but that's not a very significant level to see here on that side here. So I want to kind of go to this chart here. We're going to go to the weekly. it's kind of coming into a downward momentum here. So if you're not familiar with this, this is the 30 simple moving average on a weekly chart, 3-year chart. This is kind of considered a stage analysis, which I reread some of Weinstein's book about stage 1, 2, 3, and potentially 4 on the way down. We're currently in stage 3 chop mode and potentially going to be going to stage 4 or going back to stage 2. 2 is up, 4 is down. To potentially see this, basically the trend falling kind of strategy to that level there. But I wouldn't be trading Piton for my side. See, it says that Nvidia is worth 200 plus now, a 5-year forward cash flow, ASIC billion, let's see here. Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia, super strong here. So going back to that same kind of chart here on the weekly side, this is just insane. The membrane, we have that Congress passing stuff about kind of making the United States a more stronger semiconductor play. This thing really kind of locks up here to this kind of ongoing aggressive trend here. This has come down to the 55 EMA multiple times and just kind of bounced, and then I guess we're bouncing here too, and really seeing this kind of somewhat lift off here and seeing kind of play out in these two scenarios here, and seeing some potentially higher prices going through here. That's more on the short-term side of things. And the long-term side of things, this thing has not had a really significant pullback of any site. It basically has been taking off from $45 plus and has not really seen a couple of those pullbacks to that on the weekly side to the 34, but nothing too significant here. So be very mindful about that and understand that Nvidia is a very hot commodity right now, especially with the semiconductor shortage that we're currently seeing. Shapey says, can we take awesome, thanks for taking a look at FCell. Can you check out CEI? Yeah, I think that's what I was right. This is more like a penny stock, and this is something I just don't really touch, and there's not really too much I can kind of give you upside about. This has literally gone from 33 cents to $1.90. It is coming in right to that falling 144 EMA. There's not really too much I can add to it since this is like a parabolic breakout. It's kind of holding that 8 EMA here on the daily chart. That's going to be basically my line in the sand to kind of show some support, because you're seeing it kind of come down here, kind of bounce off of it a couple times, but seeing it kind of looking at that level there. You're welcome, R2D2, one of my favorite Star Wars characters. David, what's up, my friend? Ken, should you do some DD on HMBL? It's a 5-year play. Time to get in. Okay, 5-year play, so that means we have to look at the weekly chart. Is this the dating thing? Oh, no. Provides payment methods and financial documents. The company produces lines of Humble mobile app on the marketplace financial, which is being activated to work across Humble platform to customers, freelancers, and merchants. What's the story? That's an interesting one. Long-term play, you say? Clearly had that wonderful last year move here, because again, we go to the weekly side. This was basically a very low pink sheeted OTS kind of market traded stuff, and now shooting up to the 720, 775 range and coming pretty aggressively down here. We are finding some support here around 75 cents, but this is something I don't buy too many stocks under $10, to be quite honest, with any kind of size, just because of the liquidity and just kind of the volatility I don't want to really deal with. But if you do have some great due diligence on it, you do you, my friend, and you could do on how you trade it. But this chart doesn't look like it kind of meets some of the criteria that I like to honestly look at. Because if it does pop here, we're looking for some overhead resistance around $1.20, basically that 55 EMA here. Again, we're looking at the weekly chart, not the daily chart. Makeshift, what's up, my friend? Hey, Ken, please take a look at our ABRK IPO. Yeah, we can look at that IPO, but again, I don't really look at IPOs on days that they come out, because it's just a big fan party. We can go to the 1-minute chart. Of course, the IPO comes out, everyone's happy, and it kind of potentially does one or two things. It just does nothing and it goes down or stays flat. Actually, it can do three things. It can go rocket ship higher, which means it potentially was miscalculated or mispriced. It can do nothing. That means it's just kind of just didn't do well. People don't really care about it, which is okay. That being said, we can also see if it does go down, but there's not really too much I can give you on here because I'm not a day trader, and it's only one candle here on the daily chart. I don't know too much about it, to be quite honest. I know that Makeshift did post about it in the Discord earlier. It was like one of the IPO stocks that was offered, I believe, at $15. Was that right, Makeshift? Did I see that right? 15 bucks? They merged with a penny stock instead of going to IPO route. Oh. Looked at agro. It's one of the greatest miners. Oh, okay. You guys sound like you've done a lot more due diligence than I have. I don't know anything about this company at all. But I know what I like. I like my AFRM. This AFRM buy that we've been talking about. I think I posted it in the Discord before where I was buying shooting at a Kroger, Bear says. Oh no. That's sad. AFRM. Again, this is the IPO I kind of like to look at, Paul. So this is like something that's had like multiple quarters. And we're looking to potentially see that IPO base with an enormous day today of nearly up 11% here, and seeing it continue to climb even in after hours trading here, looking for potentially that 150 price target. That's going to be that potential sell point for a lot of folks, because that's going to be considered the IPO base top. So that's from that high that we saw basically at the beginning of the year in February. That's something that could be easily touched, because again, look at that volume that we saw in the first like couple days. Again, that was a lot of volume. It jumped up nearly to 140 there. So there's going to be some price targets. Some people that were left-handed there that were were bag holders basically, and then they were a little bit of a stuck in it. But then at the same time, look at these crazy volume bars that we're seeing in the past coming weeks. These are crazy large. These aren't like retail traders buying into this. These are just like whales, institutional funds that are adding positions into this because they're like, hey, I need delta, I need something with growth, and AFRM is clearly there. What's the story, the narrative, whatever you want to tie to it is buy now, pay later. That's very popular. You see and hear about that. That's like really much like a fancy word, or not a fancy word, like a technical. It's basically like back in the day, like 15 years ago when everyone was talking about, oh, cloud computing, AWS, like not many people knew about it, but when you said cloud computing, you sounded really smart. I think this is the buy now, pay later kind of scenarios playing out here as well. So this one is definitely a little bit more volatile and harder potentially to look at, but this is definitely one that we were getting into buying. Basically, I was buying it. I bought some of it, just one at 70. And then was buying slightly on the dip here, and that huge gap up on earnings. The dip into the 108 to 104 range here that we previously saw the past couple days. Ken, can you check out HIMAX? They are VR, AR stock game. Yeah, we could look at that. I'm usually not a fan, I can tell you right off the bat, of a 5 ticker thing. Am I looking at this right? Did you say HIMAX? HIMAX? This is saying it's a tax-free income investor. I don't know if that's the right ticker there, Fab. Another one I wanted to talk about is PLTR. Of course, I know a lot of people within the chat and a lot of people in the Discord have been fans of PLTR, and it's finally, rejoice, holy moly guacamole, breaking out of this base here that we've been trading ever since like March timeframe of this year, just kind of bouncing around in this kind of channel here. And now we're seeing it potentially, or finally breaking out, staying above $27.75. That's what we really need to see. Potentially looking for the next target, potentially around $31.03. So not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but that is looking for the momentum to kind of can carry us in that direction to potentially see hit those price targets. Not saying we're going to hit 45. I'm somewhat still sticking to my overall my 2021 price target of $37. It's slowly slipping away, but it did a lot of catch up coming in today, because again, the expected move for the rest of the year is only, I believe, what is it, basically $6 to $7 a move. So it's going to be kind of close to maybe potentially hit that price target of $37 for this year. But again, I'm not a professional paid analyst. This is just a YouTuber who loves enjoying trading stocks and sharing it with like-minded folks. So chip chip Cheerios, cheers to that. And I wonder what the analysts predicted for the move this year. Anywho, looking at a couple other stocks, we wanted to talk about CRM. So CRM, I know this is Salesforce that has had their huge convention kind of Dreamforce thing happening this week. Huge gap up, going today from $60 basically to $280. That's $260 to $280 here. So $20+ move here from the tip to low. This is a pretty impressive move here with CRM, seeing these Goliath kind of come in here and trade substantially higher. At the same time, I really like this one on the longer term time frame. So if you kind of come in here, anyone can draw this line basically around 275, creating that base here, and it's finally kind of flagging out and breaking past that base. We are just missing some more volume coming in for the rest of the week. So we'll see if Friday's close that we can continue to see to kind of push this one higher. So some very near-term targets we're looking for is around 290 to 295 within CRM or Salesforce to kind of see breakout at those levels here. So once we kind of break above these really easy targets, and again, $300 could be fairly achievable if we can continuously kind of see this growth with the overall market. One that's not much talked about is oil. So Exxon Mobil, again, same kind of pattern here, but just different time frame here. You see I have a bunch of alerts everywhere. I know it's a little bit cray here, but this is again on the weekly chart up here. That's the WK means weekly, and seeing it could potentially really kind of trail here. Of course, got kicked lower here due to what virus. If I say the word, I get demonetized and I get spanked by YouTube. And then we're coming into some levels here. We have that $65.82 target here and here to potentially create a breakout. We have failed it once and twice basically here, and looking for this continuously to kind of carry lower here. But we are coming into some level of support here around $53 to around $54 here, which is again within this Fibonacci range here, within reason. If we do hold this level of support here, this thing could kind of continuously kind of break through, potentially test $60 in the near term, and maybe make its way back up to $65 to test that very important 618 level here on the weekly side to potentially see a follow through day and kind of see some continuous momentum in that direction. The same thing goes for Chevron Group, same kind of pattern here, but instead of the 618, we're looking for the 78.6 percentile move on that level to kind of carry us way back up to the 110 level. And these are some of the stocks that I kind of like, because they're kind of they're not a crazy high growth kind of stock that you see from the Facebook, Amazons, and so forth. And I kind of like that about it. And one more we're going to be looking at is QS. This is QuantumScape. This is one that, of course, was insane. The membrane of, if you remember, just in the last couple of 2020, where it literally went from like $13 to like $132 just in a couple matter of weeks, basically over 6 weeks here. And then came down pretty again with the SPAC attack, coming down with potentially some misinformation on how far they are actually upon and updating their batteries, blah, blah, blah. Coming to these levels, we're seeing a lot of volume coming in today or this week, particularly. Looking for some easy targets to be met, potentially around $30 within QS. So we potentially could get a significant more push within QS to maybe touch that 31 to 31.50 range in that potentially kind of carrying some more volume coming in. Because again, that's a lot of volume that we're seeing come in here. We'll see how this one plays out for sure. Dave is asking for PGNY fertilization benefits going back up pretty quickly. I think you talked about this one before, right? Hell yeah. Woo! That's a hell of a bounce there, my friend. That is a, yeah. So looking for some levels to potentially make it, looks like it's trying to come back up to at least $66 here, Dave, to be able to potentially meet that level here. But yeah, that's a pretty strong V-shaped recovery there. Makeshift Costco just came out. Yes, the Costco is a wonderful breadwinner for the old the KB fund for sure. Looking like it's what you're saying. Costco just reported earnings, posting numbers for ES of 376, beats expectations was 354, revenue 61.1 billion, beating estimates by, okay, so yeah, they beat it. They both the bottom and upper line, so that's good, right? Love me some Costco, even though Costco has been, what's it at? What's that say? So it's up like maybe $3, $3.50. So $3 basically. Nothing too significant. It's not like it's a Tesla or like a Facebook technology kind of based company. But again, it's a nice steady eddy. We did back up the truck quite significantly here at this $300 range here once we saw it kind of sell off here this past year. And we loaded up, we backed up the truck, we put it in reverse, and we dropped some cash. And we were, again, I can't tell the future. I was hoping for it to go up at least to break like 370, maybe 400, but I was not expecting to see this amazing run. So this is why it's super important to kind of have your expectations to be like, okay, I'm going to let it run for my T1 target. I think I had like at 390. I was going to be happy with that. Again, this is not a trading position for me, so it's a little bit longer term hold. So seeing it kind of level off here, again, that leveling off here is, what did that come from? That come from its previous like built up demand at this level here. Now we're seeing it, again, it just ripped higher here. But it for the longest time, there was months, it did not even break below the 8 EMA. We're talking about Costco. We're not talking about a Tesla or an Nvidia here. This is a Costco. They sell toilet paper and $5 rotisserie chickens, okay? Look at this. That's insane. And now, again, we talked about a level potentially, I think we talked about 460 actually to be a level to potentially cool off. It did breach past that a little bit, but now we're seeing it kind of come back down here, rest back up, and potentially seeing a swing higher here, maybe testing 460 plus, but who knows? We'll see how the earning calls goes. But initially speaking, this is finding maybe some initial support around 450. If it does start breaking below that, we're going to be looking for some levels around 440 to around 435 within the old Costco there. But you know you love it. Thank you for sharing those numbers with me, Makeshift. Can you check out Tilray? Tilray. Yeah, so this is one. I don't know what the fundamental story on this one is, honestly, Shane. This is definitely one that has a. Did I say $5.99? I meant $4.99. You're right, Dave. I was thinking of something else. I think it's $5.99 a pound for the organic chicken. Yeah, the $4.99 rotisserie chicken, and then the hot dog for $1.50 in a cup of. I always get water, or soda. Tilray, same kind of scenario. This thing had a pretty insane past. This actually has a a crazy year past. Because again, if we zoom out more, this thing stock used to be $300. I remember I was in my work parking lot looking at the number at 300. I said, holy moly, I need to short this. But at the time, I didn't have the leverage and honestly the account to really be too intense about this. But this thing has been a really crazy stock to watch. Seeing this kind of potentially building up here. We did have a strong level of support here around $8.30, $8.50. Kind of coming back into that level here. We do have earnings on the horizon basically coming in on the 7th of next month. We could see a pop-up higher initially to around $15.21 to potentially that target around $22.55. With earnings on the horizons, I'm a little bit always very hesitant about that. And especially, I don't know too much about the marijuana business at all, to be quite honest here. I'm not saying it's kind of out of fame. It's just kind of like not on a lot of people's radars right now. It's not really trending. The cryptos are really much kind of just taking that over, honestly, with the trending stuff. Especially with Hood, coming out with that new wallet they talked about. So with Hood, same kind of thing. Getting a little bit of higher lows here kind of coming through. If we just do like a very basic trend line through this guy right here, we're seeing it kind of come through here in this range here. With, again, a little bit of a down day today with a huge momentum push. Again, there's not too much going on right now. Again, this stock has only been trading since basically of August, right? Yeah, it came live in August, so it's not been like 2.5 months. So it's looking for this one to potentially kind of find some kind of base here. Again, the same thing we talked about with like Coin. Like Coin needed to find some kind of base here, so we needed to wait to kind of look for it. I was thinking it was going to go below 210. It really didn't. There's a couple times that it did touch, but I wasn't fast enough. I didn't have orders in there. But looking for this. What is key OIS? No, I said COIN. It's Coinbase. Looking for this potentially. Are you being sarcastic? I can't tell. It's hard to tell in chat. So this is 1, 2, 3 potential bounces here. With that kind of more like a negative pressure kind of coming through, we're looking for this potentially to come back down to this 220 range, potentially kind of touch that bottom here, and maybe seeing kind of rickshaw higher here into those targets that we were looking for in that level there. But yeah. RTX is another one that we talked about, was Raytheon, seeing it somewhat dormant here, kind of building a lower base here. We were looking at it around 83. Not a crazy move, but from 83 to nearly 70 or 87. It's a nice little move there. Nothing to really write home about, but we're looking for some initial price targets coming in around $88. So that's going to be a nice little potential first targets there to kind of take some shekels off the table there. Dave, I knew you were going to ask about that. So yeah, this thing is holding much better than I was honestly expecting, Dave. The only thing that we're missing is volume. Like, we need volume to kind of come in here to kind of keep this one alive. Like, look how dormant it is. But the thing is I want to kind of put it through a different radar perspective here. So looking here at my active attack mode screens here. So looking at this one, potentially to be a little bit more dormant, potentially maybe finding support at 350, maybe coming back down to $3 here, but really waiting for that large spike in volume to kind of come in here, because we've seen that in the past before, where it was just kind of like doing nothing, slightly trending lower here. But once we saw volume coming in here, bada bing, bada bang. That's what we would like to see in these kind of moves here, especially being slightly in a speculative pharmaceutical device company kind of play here. So If we do pop, we're going to be looking for some easy targets around $4 to around $4.44. So I know, Dave, you have done a lot more fundamental research than I have on this ticker, but yeah, this thing, I'm still holding it. I forget where my price average is at. I think it was below 3, maybe 275 or something like that. But it's just kind of been just chilling, relaxing, maybe looking for a pop here. Who knows, right? Just got to get ready for that volume here. Got to get the year long lasting. Yeah. Guys, on that note, if you have any more questions, please put it in the comment section or in the little chat box, and I'll get to it. If not, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to get maybe go take a walk outside, maybe go on the elliptical, ride the bike or something like that, get some energy flowing, get some of the numb my mind a little bit, and watch something on HBO. I'm actually looking at watching the Watchmen series on HBO. I was highly told that I would enjoy that. I think that's what it was. HBO. I didn't know they had a Watchmen series, so I was yeah, definitely gonna check that one out. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I will be trying to do some more live streams here and there every once in a while, and getting to more actively sharing trading ideas, sharing other various aspects of the market, and of course, always answering your questions to the best of my knowledge. All right, have Godspeed. Have a great day. Peace.